I found my wiring mistake, and it's kind of a dumb one. But just so you know what I was up against with this, to maybe make it seem not quite so dumb. When you're wiring a MIDI encoder, like the one I'm working with, onto a pipe organ, you have to remember that C number 1 in MIDI is not always the same note. For example, in this case, the lowest C that you could get, the lowest note, is called 0. It's C0. However, for 16-foot C, which is the lowest note on the piano, 16-foot C, that note is actually 24. In a pipe organ, it would be either number 1 or it would be a different number. But it actually would be, if it were 8-foot C, and it would be number 12, or 4-foot it would be number 25, or number 13 rather, and in 4-foot it would be number 25. Now this I knew, and I got that correct. So in other words, this first wire here, this one right here, this is 16-foot C. But in the MIDI encoder, it's actually wire number, input number 24, or wire number 24. This is the first C. Now that brings us all the way up to my mistake. This is wire number 60. This wire right here, and number 60 is actually 2-foot C. If you're looking, if this were from 16-foot CCC, if 16-foot CCC was number 1, this would actually be wire 61. But it's wire 60 because you got to remember that they start with 0. They don't start with 1 in the MIDI encoder. Now that I got correct, all the way up to this 2-foot C, this wire right here. Look at these 3 wires that I clipped off. This would be C sharp, D, and D sharp. They are supposed to go right here. So in other words, I'm 3 notes off. I have to rewire from this point forward. I have to shift everything up, and I have to wire these in. How I made the mistake is I counted wrong on the ribbon cable. You'll notice that at the very end of it there are there's 2 grounds and 2 unused wires, and I just got bollocksed in my thinking, and I cut these wires off thinking that they were unused. They are used. I have to wire them in. So this will fix my sequencing mistake. So just to show the amount of work I had to redo, here are those 3 wires connected up properly, and these come out of the MIDI encoder in groups of 8, 8, 8, 8, and 8. So here's the next 8 hooked up. I just have to keep wiring until I get all these wired back up, and then this thing should work. It should be in sequence. So I've corrected my wiring mistake. The pedal, I've got some problems with contacts in the console I've got to fix yet. I can't get the 16-foot to work, and it's they're miswired. This is actually the 16-foot. That's actually 16-foot. This is actually 8-foot, but I got to clean the contacts and reverse the wires. I can tell you I did not make this mistake. I didn't get these reversed. They were reversed as I got the console. So At least I can say I didn't make that mistake. Okay, so I have it all functioning. Now I've got the pedals corrected, the stops. Here's the 8-foot piano, and then the 16-foot, the two together. It works. The piano works. Here's that 2 pitches. I have to say that just the way it is right now, it sounds, in my opinion, pretty awful. I have the shades are wide open. The blower's off right now. I'm just testing the piano out so that the pipe organ itself is not playable. Until I run the blower, I'll see if I can come up with a little tune to record to have the piano working with the pipe organ itself. But the way this sounds, this is a digital piano. It's a sampled piano, and the way it sounds to me, it's kind of like expecting somebody to play Debussy on a harpsichord. It just, it's very harsh, expressionless. I could put a damper pedal on it to improve it, but the piano on this organ is never intended to be a solo instrument. It's to be maybe blended in the background, add a little piano sound. So and of course it doesn't work as pianoforte. You have one, that's it, there's no touch response, so it really isn't pianoforte, it's just really a sound. But it's on, and that's the way it goes. It's pretty bad. Hopefully it'll sound better when blended with the organ. And the other thing is that the piano's coming out of the pedal channel, the electronics in the chamber for the low pedal notes that I don't have room for. I could bring better presence by putting speakers out in the room, taking the piano out of the chamber. I can also process it with a processor, and I could even put some other controls on, such as a damper pedal. But that's how it is right now, and it's all working. Now I have the blower running, and so I can use the swell shades, and actually it improves the use of the piano a little bit. Just that little bit makes quite a big difference to how the piano sounds. And of course the organ does drown the piano out, and that's why one of the reasons why I'm thinking of maybe bringing it out of the chamber, bringing speakers into this room, and putting some processing on it, not to just have it. It's so cold sounding now, but it's better in the chamber. Let me see if I can. Helps to hit the right pedals. Whatever. I still don't know what I'm going to all use it for, but it's on. sharp on with it on the lower manual. So basically that's it. I've got the piano working. It is what it is. Hopefully it'll be better. I can improve it, but at least I got the relay working and the piano's installed.